Hey friends, how's it going? Ash here, welcome back to Gents. Hope that you're doing well. Most fresh fragrances out there smell amazing, but they have one big drawback, and that's after 30 minutes, a lot of the times you can barely smell them.
What?
It's gone, it's all gone.
But today I have for you 10 different, technically 11 different fresh fragrances that will actually last. That way you don't get hit with that first blast and think to yourself, I've got something great here, and then 30 minutes later you're thinking, I have to spray it on again, and again, and again. All of these are linked down below, so feel free to check them out down there. We're gonna kick things off with Chanel Allure Homme Sport. Now, technically, you could also go with like Allure Homme Sport Eau Extreme if you wanted to, but that one is, for me, maybe a little bit too heavy if we're talking about wearing it during the summer in the day when it's really hot outside. Chanel Allure Homme Sport is a little bit fresher, but still has great longevity. It's also gonna smell similar to a couple other fragrances out there that you're probably aware of, Versace Pour Homme and Missoni Wave. So those three are kind of all in the same ballpark, same style. Really nice citrusy opening, fresh, attention grabbing, a bit sweet, and that maintains as it dries down. This does have tonka in there in the base, so you're gonna get more of like a creamy sweetness as it dries. So do be aware of that. But it is fresh enough that even though it has that sweet aspect and a decent amount of it, it still works when it's hot outside. And as a bonus, it works really well during the evening as well because of that sweetness. And frankly, this is not just a summertime scent. Allure Homme Sport you can wear pretty much whenever you want. So spring, summer, fall, even winter, you can pull this one off. Really, the only drawback of this scent, and it's not even necessarily a drawback, is the price. It is a Chanel, which means that at discounters, you're probably not really gonna find this one, period. And if you do, a lot of times, discounters will actually charge you more for a Chanel than what you can buy them for at full retail. And there is a reason for that. Chanel does not take kindly to people selling their fragrances at a discount. So much so that they have sued some discounters out of existence, at least in the US. So now you know, if you ever go onto a fragrance discounter and you look up Chanel and they do have some in stock, if you see that it's actually more pricey than retail and you think to yourself, that is the stupidest thing I've ever seen, that's why. Chanel don't play. I'm gonna follow that one up with Dunhill Icon, and I'm really glad I made that catch because it probably would have gone through the table. I mean, not really, but it is kind of heavy. So Dunhill Icon is a cheapie. You can find this one at discounters, at least as of right now, for like mid-30s a lot of times, and on the higher end, around 40 or so. And it's kind of a shame, this fragrance line, Dunhill Icon, because when it came out, if you were not around back then into fragrances or anything like that, it was really hyped. Everybody was basically like, oh, look at Dunhill coming out with something good quality, nice presentation. Like I said, feels heavy in the hand, not too expensive at discounters, really classy, easy to wear during summer and spring and fall, and frankly winter as well because of that extra longevity that it has, that good push. It's got this like pepper neroli kind of feel to it, you know, citrusy, fresh, spicy. Also has a bit of vetiver, some woodiness in there as it dries down. Like I said, really classy, but at the same time easy to wear in casual situations or to work or anything like that. Probably going to appeal more to guys like mid-20s and older because it doesn't have a huge amount of sweetness in there. It is very fresh, it's clean, but as I said before, more of like neroli and fresh spices and woods. But unfortunately with Icon, they didn't follow it up in a huge way. They came out with a whole bunch of Icon flankers after this one, but most of them didn't hit in a huge, impactful way. You had some that suffered from poor performance. You had others that people thought were just not quite there in terms of quality or uniqueness. And eventually the line basically withered on the vine and now nobody seems to care much about it. But the original Icon still works extremely well. Clone time! Start doing that every time I talk about a clone. Take a shot every time. Oof, be dead. This one is Ether Extrait from French Avenue. This is part of Fragrance World, of course. French Avenue, Fragrance World, kind of like Alhambra, Lattafa, you know the drill. Pretty cool bottle, looks like cut glass. to an extent there, and it is a clone of Greenly by Parfums de Marly, and actually a really fantastic clone of Greenly. Very, very close. You get that sweetness, that freshness all in there together. I don't know what I'm doing here. Look like I'm casting a magician spell. David Blaine bought off Temu, or Chris Angel. Yeah, one or the other. But yeah, it's got this great sweetness to it. Big compliment puller, quality absolutely killer. The one issue with this, I always bring it up, and I will bring it up so quickly right now. It's gonna be so quick, you're not even gonna realize I said it. You have to let it macerate, you have to let it mature, you have to let it sit. It was not good when I first got it in. It smelled like rubbing alcohol and nothing else. Came back to it like 2 weeks later, completely different fragrance, absolutely phenomenal. Essentially, if you're looking for Greenly on the cheap, boom, there it is. But be aware if you get it in, you spray it, and you think to yourself, there is nothing here, you're gonna have to wait. But waiting is good, it builds character. Now, as I said, all of these are gonna be linked in the description below, but if you wanna shop on websites without clicking through links or anything, you can use these codes over here to save yourself some money at a multitude of different fragrance websites. The JOMASHOP codes work within the JOMASHOP app only, they change every quarter, so be aware of that. And then also codes for Gift Express, Maple Prime, Frag Flex, the Perfume Box, Max Aroma, Twisted Lily, and more. So you can use those codes for pretty much any type of fragrance that you want, niche, designer, or clone, and save yourself some money. Extra money, because they're at discounters, so they're already discounted, but you can get a further discount on the discount. We heard you like discounts, so we put a discount in your discount, so while you're discount shopping, you can discount shop. Let's go next with another green bottle, Paradise Garden by Jean Paul Gaultier, part of their Le Beau line. Really solid performance with this one. It is a sweet, fresh fragrance. So part of what I said about Allure Homme Sport over here carries over to this one. Not that they smell similar, they don't at all. It's just this is quite sweet. So if you spray it on really heavy, it can come across a little cloying if you're somewhere where it's really hot and humid, especially if you go ultra heavy. But as long as that doesn't happen, you got nothing to worry about. It is a massive compliment puller that people absolutely love. It has aquatic notes in here, green notes, fig. It's got this kind of tropical vibe to it that's gonna tie it in with the other Le Beau fragrances. So yeah, a good amount of coconut in here, creamy coconut, and also tonka, which that guy right there had as well. When it comes to summertime Le Beau fragrances, the best ones, in my opinion, are gonna be this one, the Eau de Toilette, and also Flower Edition. Flower Edition is maybe a little bit fresher than this one, not quite as sweet, but performance-wise, Paradise Garden, way better than Flower Edition. And also just as far as like straight up compliments goes, I would say Paradise Garden is better for that too. The next fragrance comes in a beautiful blue bottle, a new fragrance, a new iteration of a very successful line. I don't know why I introduced it that way, it's kind of weird. Polo 67 Eau de Parfum. The bottle is blue though, you gotta admit, other than the cap and the collar. And the writing. So Polo 67 Eau de Toilette that came out before this one, also real good for summertime. Smells great, super versatile, nice opening, nice dry down. The Eau de Parfum, as you would expect, a little bit better as far as the longevity goes because of that higher concentration. The opening also a little bit more fruit centered for me, like a little bit sweeter. And as it dries down, maybe a little bit heavier on the woods in the Eau de Parfum as compared to the Eau de Toilette. Both of those releases, by the way, really, really good for summertime or spring or early fall. Can't go wrong with either one. It's just if you're looking for a little more performance, the Eau de Parfum is the way to go. Frankly though, both Polo 67s I love, extremely versatile stuff. Let's go with something a little bit different next. This is Prada Amber Pour Homme. Nowadays, when people think about Prada, let's all think about Prada. Pretend this doesn't exist, pretend it's not there. Okay, we're thinking about Prada. What fragrances are popping in your mind? Prada, Prada. Nowadays, probably Luna Rossa Ocean, more realistically. Maybe for some of you, Luna Rossa Black or Luna Rossa Carbon. And also, what's coming to me? Prada L'Homme. Right? So those fragrances, that's what you're thinking of with Prada nowadays, especially Luna Rossa, since that's really what they've been concentrating on here over the past number of years. But Prada Amber, you can still scoop this up and it is still really good. Great longevity to the scent, and you may be thinking to yourself, well, amber, huh? I mean, that doesn't sound very much like something fresh, does it? Amber. Yeah, and there's also some other notes in there that you wouldn't think of as fresh notes either, like labdanum, cardamom, saffron, notes like that. But it does have a nice freshness to it. It is more of like a warm, fresh fragrance because of those spices that are in there and that amber as well. But in typical Prada style, typical Prada fashion, it's got kind of a soapiness to it. This like clean, sophisticated edge that Prada constantly injects into their fragrances. It's got that, and it does it really, really well. Now, this is gonna be another one kind of like the Dunhill, where if you're a younger guy, you're looking for something that's more sweet, a little bit more loud, a little bit more attention grabbing, more of a consistent compliment beast. That's not this. That's more Paradise Garden, Etheric Straight, even Allure Homme Sport, or Polo 67 here. This is more for somebody looking for something refined, clean, classy, that has a nice different undertone to it than most other fresh fragrances out there. Frankly, another one you can wear year round. Something that just elevates what you're wearing, right? Kind of takes everything up a notch. That's what this is. Let's keep it simple with the next one. Dylan Blue from Versace. Blue fragrances are blue fragrances. And by that I mean you can wear them whenever you want. It's not the type of scent that's like summertime only, right? It is made to be worn, and they want you to wear them. That's why they smell the way they do. They want you to wear this, spray the whole bottle out, go back to the store, buy another one, repeat. And frankly, that is how Sauvage and Bleu de Chanel and Y and also Aqua de Jo and fragrances like that are consistently the best-selling fragrances in the world for men. People wear them, they get compliments. They're versatile, they wear them, they get compliments. They use the whole bottle, they buy another bottle, repeat, repeat, repeat. And Dylan Blue, yes, is fresh, but it also has a little more depth to it. So it has like incense in there, some woody aspects as well. So as it dries down, it does maintain more of a base instead of just being like a really fleeting musk, right? Because that's how a lot of those fragrances are that have no staying power. They're fresh, but as they dry down, it just kind of falls apart, right? This one lingers. It sticks around, and the opening still has enough freshness in there that it's easy to wear even when it's hot out. Let's go next with Trothy Blue. This is by Afnan, and this is another clone fragrance. Roughly 35 bucks. That's the price for this one. Longevity, actually really good. One of the better ones here. And it is a clone of Tiger, Bulgari's Tiger. So you're looking at a lot of citrus here off the top. Woodiness as it dries down. It does have some musk in there. Also has amber and some spices as well. So it's another one where if you just look at the note breakdown, other than the huge amount of citrus, you might think to yourself, that could be a number of different things. But no, it is a great spring, summer, daytime fragrance. You can wear it during the evening as well. That is rich citruses and sweetness mixed with a lot of freshness as well. So it's that type of scent that pretty much everybody is going to love, very much like the Bulgari. And it lingers for a long, long time. What you get for what you pay here, fantastic. The most wanted next, Eau de Toilette Intense. Note breakdown here, really simple. Not a whole lot going on. Lavender, citrus, and what was that? Moss liquor. Yeah, moss liquor. It's everybody's favorite. What I ask for every time I go to the bar. It's like, take the moss liquor. The atomizer on this is straight up trash. Just absolute garbage. And it's an Azzaro wanted thing at this point because the new Forever Wanted Elixir also has that same type of atomizer. It is one of my least favorite out of everything. Because say you go and you buy this at full retail, Macy's, Sephora, Ulta, wherever, it doesn't matter. You go, you buy it at full retail and you're like, oh, this looks pretty good. This is nice, decent quality. I like the matte finish. I like the gradient. You go to spray it. Bruh. It's like the least premium, turdiest atomizer that has ever existed. I'm gonna stop harping on it, but Azzaro, if you watch this, change that. Trying to make your products look premium, you got the worst atomizers in the game. So anyway, back to the important thing, the fragrance itself. Longevity, of course, as everything here, very good for a fresh type fragrance. Decent amount, again, of fresh and sweet mixed together. A little bit similar to YSL's Myself, not super close, but kind of in the same ballpark a little bit. Made to be an extremely versatile, clean scent with a nice bit of sweetness there that you can wear pretty much whenever you want when it's warm outside or during the evening as well, because that sweetness is gonna help it carry through, gather a little more attention if you're on a night out. One other thing about this fragrance, a slight bonus, even though it's newer, it's decently affordable at discounters. You can find it for under 70 bucks for a full 100 ml size, and the 50 ml is cheaper still. Collage is next, Shiaka Silver. The bottle is hideous, but don't let that fool you. I know it looks crazy cheap, but the fragrance itself is actually great in terms of the quality. The price is not that high, and it smells similar to something extremely expensive, Amouage Reflection Man. Yeah, it's actually like really, probably the biggest surprise out there as far as just how bad to me the bottle looks, and when you smell it, how good it smells. Maybe part of the reason I think the bottle looks bad is it looks like Icon if you made it out of plastic and smushed it. You can see the similarity. And also, this is a stock bottle. So there are a lot of different brands that have this exact bottle, cheap brands, and a lot of times you'll see stuff at like TJ Maxx or Ross's, and it will be in this bottle style. So it doesn't come across very premium is what I'm trying to say. But yeah, it smells very close to the Amouage. It's clean again, soapy, has this nice iris vibe to it, white florals, super classy. Classy but sexy at the same time. Big compliment puller, just like the Amouage, and solid staying power. So really, the only thing to dislike here, as I said, the bottle. But as cheap as this looks, the atomizer is better than that one. And we're gonna finish with Aquade Odaparfam, the Eau de Parfum. I would also say Aquade Odaparfam or Profundo Eau de Parfum would work really well. So with the Eau de Parfum, I actually prefer this version, the new version of the Eau de Parfum, over the original version of the Eau de Parfum. I think it's slightly improved. It does have that Aqua de Jo DNA front and center, so it's gonna give you that same complement factor you would expect from any Aqua de Jo. Solid staying power, a little bit more aromatic than the Eau de Toilette is. If you wanna go even deeper and richer, you would get the Parfum. If you wanna go a little bit with a sweeter fruitiness off the top, more minerality, go with Profundo Eau de Parfum. But this one is once again a great mix of fresh and sweet combined. Wearability is extreme. Wear it whenever you want, year round, not just summertime, daytime, nighttime, either one, it works well. And in typical Aqua de Jo fashion, big compliment puller. So there we go, 11 different fragrances that are fresh and long lasting, different types of fresh fragrances. Some of these are just very straight up fresh and clean. Others are more sweet and fresh, and others still have like warmer aspects to them, but a little bit of something for everybody here. I wanna thank you guys for hanging with me. Stay safe out there, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you guys.